Okay, so this was tonight's 2015 GMT Euro race. We'll call it the strength of field because that's what we're trying to achieve. Thank you to iRacing for changing it so you now only need 6 cars in each race for it to go official. Because in Europe we have been struggling to get races to go official, but here we are for Friday night, and I believe we had a 15 car field. The race finished about an hour ago. 39 laps around Oran Park. Some will say that Oran Park is a tricky track to start the series on, that you can potentially lose a lot of the casual pickup races. But again, Euro race. Oops, I've got myself on replay. Hold on. Let's go and mute me. There you go. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, some people say that it will put people off, but you know, stick with it. It is a tricky track, won't lie. You can't afford to do things like that. You have to have a really delicate approach to the lap. You pretty much thread the eye of the needle a lot. If you haven't tried racing the cars here yet, give it a go. Madison Down, iRacing V8 Supercar champion, multiple champion. He took the baseline set, made a few tweaks and stuck it in the forum. There are also other teams that will put setups in the forum. This is the first week of Season 1 2015, which sees the first season on iRacing where you get to race the Ford against the Holden. So when the Holden first came out, there was an influx of drivers. You always get that when there's a new car. It then started to plateau and peter out, and then we got the new Ford. A lot of people complained that they've had to buy it again when they had the FG01 before, but they're doing that a lot into... I didn't realise this was going on at the back. Yeah, but what can you say? The old Ford had been up for quite some time. It is what it is, and it's not necessarily a case of people being forced to buy it. You buy it or you don't buy it. All of the Holden fans will say they've had to race Ford for so long. Sorry. Lisping a lot. Yesterday I bit into an apple and broke my crown off, so I've had it reseated today, and I'm cutting my tongue. So I'm really sorry. Let me see if we got any of the other drivers who raced in the chat channel. See if they're there, and if they are, if they've got anything to say about the race. I managed to start on the pole, which is saying something. Had a pretty good start actually, but Mario Vlasic, raced against Mario a lot. I don't try to get into too many knife fights with him. He's a bit more confident and assertive than I am, so I saw him coming up the inside. I got a good start and I could have pulled across and just blocked the line, but I didn't want to. I thought, you know, it was a low percentage move, and I've been up since 3:30 this morning, so I'm a bit tired and flagging. And if you continue to watch the race back, you'll see that it shows, because during the race my consistency just really dropped off a lot. And I should have been lapping in the 107s, but ended up lapping in the 109s at times. It was quite embarrassing. Got myself a peppermint tea here, so I'm going to take a sip, put this on mute for a second. Again, as I said, I'm not sure how the stream is going to run. If it starts buffering and lagging, I'll check to see how the saved locally recorded file looks, and if that's got no laggy buffering, I'll upload that to YouTube. Let me go and look on the Chrome browser on the desktop to see if it's a little bit more stable. Didn't realise the webcam was off-centered, so I fixed that. Let's have a look here. So yeah, also put on some of the new overlays. Looks like it might be buffering a lot. So I'm just going to let it keep going. I apologise for the quality. Hopefully it will at least record without any of this lagginess and I can just upload that. But yeah, Mario got a good start, got his head down. He was definitely on top of the car more than I was this week. First week in 2015 season, even though we're still in 2014. But iRacing realigned the series weeks with the short 6-week season, so that it was a bit more in sync with the calendar. So yeah, Mario got out in front and then started to stretch his legs. I tried to maintain my focus and hit my marks, but I was really inconsistent. And normally I can lap within 3 tenths, 4 tenths every single lap, but today I was, yeah, as I said, I was really off. So by the time we got around to here, lap 4, lap 5, Michael Schneider was in 3rd, Gregory Tenson was in 4th, Steve Travers 5th. Stefan Nubis was 6th. I'm sure Stefan started in 3rd or 2nd. 3rd, I think. Sanjin Delalic joined us, Carl Mosley, Nikolai Bogotriev, Valdemar Thorson, Kent Saruto, Craig Pryor, Theodore Francois, Dennis Smith, and Andrei Loginov. 15 people is a really good size field for a European race on a Friday night. And considering this is apparently Black Friday, where not the Black Friday, this is the one where everyone has their Christmas parties, and A&E gets inundated with people with alcohol poisoning. So if you're out doing that tonight, please take care. Those poor souls in A&E really could do without it. Hi Stefanio84, welcome to the channel. We raced this earlier. Obviously I'm not sat here telepathically driving. What I did was I kind of made a commitment to the European and international drivers that if they would turn out regularly each week and make sure that the European race got a consistent following, that if I was in the race I would stream the race back, so all the guys in the race would have the opportunity to have their highlight moments on YouTube. So at the moment we're streaming this on Twitch, and then afterwards it'll go up onto the Blue Flag Racing YouTube page. As you can see down here, got all of our social media links. So the more that you can add us to your circles on Google Plus or tweet us at Blue Flag Racing, like our Facebook page, and yeah, follow me here on Twitch. and you can also follow the Blue Flag Racing Twitch page. And what happens is every time we're streaming something like this, you get an instant notification. If you follow us on Twitter, you'll get all of the tweets every time the stream goes up. Also, really got to do a huge thank you to drivers like Sanjin Dalalic, and one of the Australian New Zealand drivers. He's consistently mentioned, along with some of the North American drivers, that, you know, if we can get the race scheduled for a time that allows an overlap, that a lot of those Southern Hemisphere or North American drivers will come out and try and make sure that the race goes official as well, because it's a very tight, close-knit community. Get a lot of help. The car's a real beast to drive, but that's what gives you that extra sense of satisfaction once you get on top of it. Ooh, that was a bit tasty. The car gets light as you come across the crest into the last turn, and then it's a little bit uphill into the final turn, so you've got to spot your braking zone. This is a really nice move because it's really difficult to go 2x2 through turn 1. The car on the inside could hit the curb and kick out, so that was a really nice piece of respectful driving, and that's what you get in the V8 series. The car's big, heavy, cumbersome in some people's eyes, but that heavy, solid car gives you the confidence to, wow, nice move, to get some good door-to-door racing. And because it's not like the GT cars where it's foot to the floor here, flat out there, it's very much about delicate finesse on the throttle. People are already being careful with the car, so if you've got the confidence to hold your line on the outside or like that, get the power down, you can have some really great side-by-side racing. This is actually really, really good. Fair play. Love that sim pink paint. Oh, sounds like somebody had a moment, either coming together or off track and into the wall. Again, this is the or it looks like they had some side-by-side contact that was a little bit tougher than expected. Yeah, so first season in the iRacing V8 Supercar series where the Ford and the Holden have gone head to head. Should make for some really interesting rivalry as the season goes on. Popped a message on the forum to let the drivers that were in the race know that the race is being streamed, so if they want to come back and watch it. But again, as I said, I'm not sure how stable my stream is tonight. I've been trying to get on top of OBS, that free to use software, and I know it's probably really simple, but I'm not the most technically gifted person, so I've tried to introduce some of the little apps and overlays, but I haven't quite nailed the bit rate. On tablets it seems to stutter a lot, and I'm not sure whether it stutters also on the browser. But normally the replay file that's saved locally or the export from Twitch that goes up onto YouTube seems quite stable. Only 39 laps here this week. Only, he says, but when a lap takes you 67 seconds, 68 seconds, love that Valvoline forward paint. Ooh, nice save. Yeah, 39 times 68 isn't actually that long, so there will be some races on the schedule. I think that will be a bit longer, the enduro races, where might need to take a little bit more fuel. This build, the Ford and the Holden, came with the larger fuel tank, the Bathurst tank. So whereas all of last season and all the last year and all the preceding years, the maximum fuel that you could take, I think, was 90 litres. Can't remember. I think it was 90 litres. So in some of the races, there was a mandatory pit stop. You couldn't, or compulsory, I should say. You weren't going to make it to the end without taking on some fuel. Also, you'd think some of the drivers like Tobias Tierney, I can never say Tobias' surname, so I'm really sorry for butchering it, would manage to save fuel at a rate that the rest of the field could barely imagine. There's quite a few of the top split drivers that could do it. It takes a real knack. And at the moment, a few have been complaining that the fuel tank being as big as it is means that that particular skill isn't required. You just put the fuel that you calculate you need and just drive pretty much flat out. And also this season, you can change the fuel load in increments of 1 unit. So you can actually calculate your fuel specifically, not have to take an extra 2 or 3 or 5 litres. Love the way this track turns back on itself. It's an invigorate track, Oran Park. Unfortunately, the V8 supercars don't race here anymore. I believe developers bought the land and built homes on it. But it's, let's be honest, it's absolutely tiny, skinny. So to see beasts of a car like this, these brutes racing around here, must have been an amazing sight for anybody that was actually able to go down to the track. Is it just ironic that the number 4 car running with repair management sponsorship, so Stefan Nobis, is looking like it needs some repair management on its nose. There's no bonnet on the car. Don't know if he's had contact with someone or something. In the practice session before the race, Stefan had some really good pace. He had really good qualifying pace as well, actually. So he'll probably be really disappointed with how his race has turned out so far. He definitely had the pace to push for the win. Sanjin came through the field. I can't remember if Sanjin actually qualified, but he came through the field, got up into 3rd, and then slowly but surely closed down on me in 2nd. I started to have a few concentration issues, some graphic stuttering, a few laggy blink moments where everyone else's cars disappeared. bit of exhaustion fatigue. There I am up on the rise, and yeah, I just didn't execute a good race. So I always thought Sanjin might catch me, and I made a couple of mistakes, made it easier for him, and then pretty much waved him by, and he sailed off into the sunset. When I saw the actual field at the start of the race, I did think that Michael Schneider and Sanjin were pretty much out of position. They should have been further up the grid. I'm sure Sanjin's definitely got pace. He's normally someone each week that I look for in the lap charts to see what kind of pace he's running, so I can benchmark myself. If I can get within half a second of him, I think TH mark. I think that I've had a really good effort, a good week. Same with Michael Schneider. Quite a few new names in the field though that I haven't seen in the V8s before, and I think some of them are just brand new to the car. Others have been enticed back because of the new cars, which is always good to see, because that's kind of a bittersweet element to iRacing. They do such a great job of introducing new cars into the simulation, that with such a limited finite number of members, 50,000 active members apparently, as soon as a new toy comes out, people move on. So having 2 new cars, and yes, to all of you who still don't think the Ford is a new car, it is. It has independent rear suspension rather than that solid live wire axle. Live wire, listen to me, see, I'm tired. Live wire. Anyway, the fact that there are 2 new cars, it's probably also brought back some of the drivers who used to race the V8 long before I picked it up. See that blink? That's all those cars disappeared there. They all disappeared for me whilst I was driving as well. I see Stefano84 is still watching. A few people have popped in and out. Don't blame them, because at the moment there are quite a few iRacing streams up. Grip TV's up, got 72 people viewing that. I like watching Grip TV. They have a number of really good drivers on there. JP, one who actually has been running a few races in the V8s and streaming them, so that's probably helped raise the profile of the series again. He isn't going to be able to race any of the races this weekend though, because he's going for his pro license in the FW31. So the people that are popping in and out are probably coming, seeing that there's not a live race on, which isn't as interesting as watching one where you're in car with driver, especially when you get someone who can read the chat messages and drive, which I haven't figured out yet, and interact with them live during the race. "21 laps down of the 39. See, these guys have been pretty much nose to tail, door panel to door panel the entire race. The camera sets on follow the most exciting action, so it's kind of indicative of oh. That was a shame, because that was shaping up to be a really nice battle. Are there any panels left on that car? So who's that number 1? We're not naming and shaming, we're just, you know, highlighting, giving them their moment of fame. That's me coming up, currently sitting in 3rd position. Love that paint scheme. Very reminiscent of the custom image concepts car that Jake Burton and Kurt Stenberg drive, but this was painted by my teammate Bailey Bell. So probably got some inspiration from Andrew Ozio of Custom Image Concepts, who does a lot of the car paints. I just love the turquoisey blue and black combination. The white accents set it off a treat. We're running Kimmy's Raw Fencing as our sponsorship. It's the only sponsor that we've had so far. So huge thanks goes out to Mark Noble. Kimmy's Raw Fencing's his company, named after his late wife. So Mark's made us feel really welcome in the V8 community. Supported us both with some contributions to the team, which has helped some of the other team members pick up some of the tracks they don't have, to help us running in the Apex Racing League V8 Supercar series that ran all the way through 2014 when it was in its 9th season, I think. It's on a bit of a break at the moment because those guys deserve some time to race as well. So a huge shout out to Mark Noble and Kimmy's Raw Fencing. Also to Apex Designs, that's as I said, my teammate Bailey Bell does a lot of our car paints, and I I really do love this one. So the race must have settled down at this point, because if the cameras picked up me as the most exciting, that's not saying much. I was running the number 7 this race, so if you haven't raced in iRacing before, if you've only watched it, every time you enter a official race, iRacing software will look at your iRating, think Conkers or Top Trumps. So it looks at your iRating, and it seeds you on where it thinks you should finish. And if you have a higher number, so north of 1, then it expects you to finish off the front towards the back. So me being number 7, iRacing figures based on my skill level, which isn't the greatest because I've lost a lot of iRating, I should have finished 7th, so won't spoil it and tell you where I finished, but you can guess. Finishing ahead of where you're seeded means you get to pick up some of the iRating off the other racers in the race. So it adds a little bit more spice to the races. So although you did see it coming together, people really try to avoid it because they're blink again. Yeah, because losing iRating means that you then can't get into the stronger fields, and the stronger the field, the more points you get for placing. And if you're looking to try and feature in the championship, whether it's the overall championship or your divisional championship, you want to be in the race that has the strongest strength of field based on iRating. So you'll see a lot of conversations about strength of field, hence the reason why we've dubbed this the European strength of field race. Now if you looked at the Americas race, which goes off around 2:15 AM GMT, that has some really talented and highly iRated drivers participating, so they wouldn't consider this a strength of field race, because I think it was about 2000 they'd consider the split 2, split 3 race. Just going to say hi to Stefano in the chat. So yeah, hopefully we can get quite a few more of the European races going, since a lot of people now will be off for Christmas. if we all managed to avoid Christmas shopping and all sorts of distractions in the real world, hopefully we can get a few more races official this weekend. I was considering just calling it a day because, yeah, I haven't really covered myself in any glory so far. However, if it helps other people get into the car and helps more of the races go official, then what I'll do is I'll look out to see if any of the races are going official. I'll jump in them and I'll live stream them. If the stream needs improving, leave me some feedback in the chat, or actually make it easier if you could tweet any feedback that you have about it to @BlueFlagRacing. So it's coming up down here, @BlueFlagRacing. You can also give us the feedback on our Facebook page, but @BlueFlagRacing will make it easier. Follow us on all the social medias and we'll tweet out details of any other races that get streamed. If it's not me racing, then it may be another teammate, and I might just stream the race from their vantage point. We're not only racing the V8, we're also racing in some of the GT3 leagues, so Sim Racing Team Challenge, which had the last race of the was it the Blue Cup or the Black Cup? I can never remember. Anyway, 6 rounds, so we've got another 6 rounds coming up after Christmas. We're also entering a caddy in the Spirit of VLN race, so we'll stream that as well. We are on the waiting list for the Gathering of Tweakers Endurance Series, which is the support race for the Neo Endurance Series. We've got our eyes set firmly on the Masters of Endurance Series. We've got the best sim racers and their teams that enter that as well. And just, you know, randomly we'll be racing, streaming. So I said it on the last stream, if you're in a race with myself, not during the race, because chat during the race really distracts me, but before the race starts, just, you know, drop me a chat, say, Mark, please don't forget to save the replay, because although I'll be streaming the race on board and on YouTube, the onboard footage from this race will be uploading right now, so you can go find that and have a look. But yeah, if you're in there, you think, well, I can't stream, Mark, but I'd like to have my race replay streamed, then drop me a chat and remind me to save the replay. And what I'll do is what I'm doing now, we'll replay the race and then stream that. So consider it like watching Fox or ESPN or Speed, when you get that nice delayed or replay. Actually, that's what I should do, shouldn't I? For the overlay, I should get a not live highlight so that people don't think this is a live race. If I'm too wiped out and there's only 10 laps left, see, that went really quickly, didn't it? If I'm too wiped out to actually race, then if I've done my races for the weekend, I don't think it'll be wise to do any more. Is Mario just getting up the inside of the back marker? Then I might just drop into a live race that's going on, stream that. However, the idea behind the stream and the title behind the wheel @Blue Flag Racing is that what we want to do is just help the community. There are only so many sim racers in the world, 7 billion people on the planet, but only, well, there's got to be less than 100,000 sim racers, so it's a very, very niche hobby. It's a small membership. So although there's an argument to say everybody and his dog seem to be streaming videos, well, that's because everybody that's into sim racing likes watching it, and you can actually pick up a lot by watching the onboard footage of some of the faster, more talented or more consistent races. And it's just like all the people that are probably on Twitch tonight watching World of Warcraft. If it's your hobby, it's your hobby. So if you race, follow us. The more followers we get, the more encouragement we get to continue doing things like this. If you think, yeah, this is okay, but it's not great, it could be better if you did X, Y, and Z mark. Again, as I said, tweet that to us. Be nice, as in polite, respectful. We're a bit of a PG rated team. If you don't race and you just like watching the footage, or you just were curious, then thanks for popping along. If you head to our Facebook page, look at some of the teams that we're following, or just head to the iRacing forum and drop in on the V8 Supercar forum, and you'll get a good idea of what the community looks like. I won't say it's the best community in iRacing, because everybody says that, but I will say it's a great community. Everyone has some prima donnas, but we don't actually have many, don't have that many at all, and you can get a lot of help. So if you've got bored of the car you're racing, if you are an iRacer, or you've just joined the service during what was week 7, usually it's week 13, and you're not sure where you want to ply your trade, drop in on the V8 Supercar forum, or drop in on any of our social media pages, ask us for help or some insight. In my last video I gave a shout out to some of the great teams and drivers that we've got in the series who will help you out. Pretty much all of them will. Get in a session, turn laps, and if they can see that you're putting in the effort to get on top of the car, then any and everybody will help you with tips, insight, answer your questions. Just don't jump in the session or the forum and start saying how the car's a pig and you hate it, because that's like turning around and telling someone their sister's a pig. We're likely to get a little bit precious about it and start defending it. So rather than that, ooh, I never realised that happened in the race. I wondered how Mario dropped some time. That looked a bit like, was it Buemi in the World Endurance Championship, who cut across the Audi coming out of Juncal at Interlagos? Yeah, I think Mario expected the car to have given him a bit more space. But anyway, as I was saying, STC, Evolution Racing, Trantasman Racing, 4 Motorsports, GT Racing, ourselves, Custom Image Concepts, Powerpond, Daco, you name the team, you name the driver, especially the Oceanic Sim Racing guys and the V8 Online guys. They love the community, they love seeing new people come in. If they see you showing an interest, putting an effort, then they will help you. And don't think that people won't share setups, they will. But they're more likely to share setups with somebody who asks for help, rather than somebody who says, please can I have a setup. You actually will get much more out of this car if you first just use the baseline. It's a quite good one actually, and just get used to how the car drives differently to, I like that rear wheel decal, yeah, but how the car drives differently to the GT cars or the high downforce cars. And once you've got an understanding of that, which pretty much is simple, do everything in a straight line, brake in a straight line, accelerate in a straight line, get the steering open as much as possible, squeeze the throttle, don't jam the throttle, squeeze the brake, don't jam the brake. Quite simple, but not as easy as that to do or execute. But yeah, once they see that you've put in the time and the effort, then they'll more than happily share their sets. Jared Filson, Fuel Cell as he likes to be known, one of the fastest guys, he'll share setups. You do have to check those. Sometimes Jared will share a setup with you and it's a pig, and he's just being funny. But other than that, most of the times, because it's so much down to the driver, the tenths are the setup, the seconds are the driver. So they'll share. Madison Downs shared a set this week. He took a season off a few seasons ago, or a couple of years ago I think, and he pretty much just shared his entire back catalogue, as did a lot of the other drivers. So yeah, come dip your toe in the water and enjoy. Lap 35, so just 4 more to go. Mario's still up front. Sanjin was trying to make inroads. I was trying to stay awake and hold on to third. Voldemort made a couple of mistakes, otherwise I think he could have got right onto the back of me. I don't think he'd have got past. He'd have been too scared, I think, to make a move. I was uncharacteristically inconsistent this race, but yeah, I was focusing so much on the track because for everyone that's tried driving here this week, they know it's really, really, really technical. It's like a rally stage. You haven't got time to take your eye off the road and look left, right, up, down. So looking at the excuse me, looking at your black box screens or looking anywhere else was really difficult for me. So I couldn't really sense the pressure from getting closer because I couldn't see the time coming down. But I did think that it would have been interesting at the end, and I will take finishing third. Good haul of points. Probably could have got 50-60 more if I'd have finished where I should have in the race I did yesterday, but less about that the better. So Gregory Tanson, the number 2 car. So Gregory may have got some iRacing, but not as much as he could have if he'd have finished higher, because he probably should have been further up the field. Michael Schneider must have had an issue because he's dropped back to 6th. Kent Ceruto, seen Kent around. Stefan Nobis, his race didn't go the way he planned. Craig Pryor, Nikolai, and Andre. I think some of the guys back here, like Kyle, Dennis, Steve, Theodore, I don't think all of them managed to finish the race. Probably were a few laps down. Let's have a look. So I don't think Mario's painted his car, because most of the drivers have a custom paint scheme, but don't think he's painted his. But still, it's a distinctive blue. I've got used to seeing it. He'll be very happy to have one. To win any race is quite satisfying. To win a race in the V8 supercar is even more so. And to win a race in the V8 supercar at a track like this, yeah, he'll be grinning. Put a bold move on at the start, but I expected that with Mario. You get used to driving certain races, and the way I was feeling, I didn't have the confidence to stay on top of the car and put in 107 after 107. So I decided I'd much rather finish the race, get some points rather than no points, because the race I raced in yesterday, I was running second, sitting waiting to make an attack for the lead, but unfortunately my car disagreed with another car, and then my car had an argument with the wall in the last turn, and the wall said I don't think so. So it was a DNF. So this race I just wanted to get to the end. Isn't the most competitive approach, but sometimes that hurt. Sometimes it's about holding on to what you have, getting the car to the end, taking the points, especially in some of the team events that we'll be racing in, where it's not about your personal glory. This race, so it's all too easy to chuck the car off with a lap or so to go. So although Mario would have seen that he's about to take the white flag, he most definitely would have been concentrating, missing rear quarter panels, so definitely had a moment in the race to keep him focused. That is a beautiful paint. Even though it's the Volvo, it does look really nice and Holden. So race over. You can see Mario won, Sanjin came second. I managed to hold on to Valdemar, finished in 4th. Gregory came home 5th. Michael 6th, right where iRacing City should have finished, to be fair. Kent came in 7th. Should have got some really good IR for finishing 8 points, well, 8 places up on his seeding. Steve Gray finishing 8th, 9th, Nikolai in 10th, Andre 11th, Carl came home 12th, Dennis would be classified in for 13th, one place up on his seeding, Steve in 14th, and Theodore unfortunately came home last. Someone's got to come home last. Anyway, so that was the race. Hopefully we'll have more Go Official this week, and rather than it being me sitting here talking about it, maybe we can get more people in to chat. Maybe we'll get it up on TeamSpeak as we replay it. Who knows, maybe that's what we can do. Some of the Euro races, have a post-race review chat with Blue Flag Racing, and we can replay the race, and each of the drivers can just chip in their opinions on how the race went for them. Who knows, just floating the idea out there. Anyway, my tongue is killing me. My eyes are telling me enough. So this is possibly it for me tonight. So thank you very much for those of you that either sat in the lobby and listened to me drone on by myself. If not that, then those of you who are watching this back on YouTube, appreciate the support. So subscribe, like, follow, tweet, interact with us. But yeah, hope to see you on track, or hope to see you online. Thank you very much. And if we don't see you around, have a great Christmas, great holiday season. Don't drink too much, don't eat too much, and remember, Christmas is about giving, not receiving. Yep, that's it. That's enough from me.